are these people?
I'm going to go to Dave DeCamp, and this is our Fuck Israel portion. Welcome to Fuck Israel. There's a lot going on here this week, unfortunately, as there is every week. Let's get into war crimes, shall we? Israel cuts electricity to Gaza, ramping up collective punishment. And this wasn't 6 months ago. This wasn't a year ago. This wasn't 18 months ago. This was March 9th, 2025, last Sunday. I wish I were kidding. Israel on Sunday said it was cutting off electricity to the Gaza Strip as it ramps up the collective punishment of the civilian population to pressure Hamas to release Israeli hostages, violating the ceasefire deal reached in January. Because Trump said they could, and Miriam Adelson gave him the money to say that they could. Unbelievable. Israeli Energy Minister Eli Cohen made the announcement saying he instructed the Israel Electric Corporation to immediately stop selling electricity to power stations in Gaza. I didn't even know that any were still standing. Quote, we will employ all the tools available to us so that all the hostages will return, and we will ensure that Hamas won't be in Gaza on the day after, Cohen said. The move is expected to impact Gaza's water supply since electricity also powers desalination plants that produce drinking water. So not only are they cutting off the lights, they're going to cut off the water. Since March 2nd, Israel has blocked the entry of aid, medicine, fuel, and all other goods into Gaza, also a war crime backed by the U.S. The UN's World Food Program has warned that it's running out of food supplies in Gaza, and Palestinians report a sharp rise in prices since Israel imposed total siege. Again, not a surprise. You can tell that these are very armed and dangerous individuals right here. Tongue in cheek. Israel is demanding that Hamas release more Israeli hostages, but without a full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza or commitment to a permanent ceasefire, which were both conditions of the second phase of the initial deal. Of course, they want to impose their half, but not honor what they were committed to do. Hamas continues to call for the implementation of the second phase, saying it will not release the remaining hostages without an Israeli commitment to end the genocidal war permanently. Why won't Israel commit to doing that? Is it because they want to steal the land and murder everybody there? Huh. The Wall Street Journal reported Friday that Israel is planning a series of escalatory steps that could lead to the full-scale resumption of its genocidal war. Well, that also included Trump shipping 2,000-pound bombs there. The report said that after cutting all aid to Gaza, the next step was cutting off electricity and water, which they've done. After that, if Hamas doesn't agree to Israel's terms, airstrikes could resume, followed by mass displacement of Palestinians in Gaza and another Israeli invasion, because where are they going to go? The Journal report said that an Israeli invasion of the territories it withdrew from in Gaza seems inevitable, because that was their plan all along. However, some U.S. officials, including Adam Boehler, who's President Trump's special envoy for hostage affairs, who had direct talks with Hamas, has said they believe a deal can be reached. He's lying, but he can say so. Quote, I think you could see something like a long-term truce where we forgive prisoners, where Hamas lays down their arms, where they agree that they're not part of the political party going forward, which they've also not agreed to any of that. I think that's a reality. It's real close, he told CNN on Sunday. Literally, like, CNN? You're going to believe fucking CNN? In the meantime, Israeli bombs and gunfire continue to kill Palestinians in Gaza. Last Sunday, a week ago, the Palestinian news agency Wafa reported that at least one Palestinian was killed by Israeli gunfire east of Gaza City. Since the truce went into effect on January 19th, Israeli forces have killed more than 100 Palestinians in Gaza. I'm going to, again, repeat that sentence because it feels like an oxymoron. Since the truce of a ceasefire went into effect on January 19th, Israeli forces have not honored that ceasefire and killed more than 100 Palestinians in Gaza. And how many Israelis have Palestinians killed in retaliation of that? I believe the answer is 0. War crime number 2. Here we go. Fuck Israel. Let's go to Brett Wilkins. So that was Dave DeCamp, Antiwar.com, Indie Media Award honorees. Now, Brett Wilkins, Common Dreams, Indie Media Award honorees. Israeli cabinet minister says the quiet part out loud. Quote, the only solution for the Gaza Strip is to empty it of Gazans, which would then be the Trump Strip then, wouldn't it? I'm not even going to use the line that she used. I'll say it later. Israeli Environmental Protection Minister Idit Silman argued Tuesday for ethnically cleansing the Gaza Strip of its Palestinian population so that the Jewish people can, quote-unquote, inherit the land, meaning steal the land. Many of them believe their deity promised them in biblical times.
Who are these people?
Thank you, whoever that is. Quote, the only solution for the Gaza Strip is to empty it of Gazans, Tillman, a member of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's ruling Likud translation party, said during an interview with Reshet Bet Radio, according to a translation by Haaretz. Thank you, Steve Gill. Quote, and I can't believe, God has sent the U.S. administration, and it's clearly telling us it's time to inherit the land, unquote. No, that's absolutely not the fucking case. That's not how it works. Last month, Republican U.S. President Donald Trump proposed that the U.S. take over Gaza, quote unquote, remove its approximately 2.1 million Palestinian inhabitants, which he admitted was down to 1.6 million, I believe, or 1.7, and transform the coastal enclave into the Riviera of the Middle East. Israeli Finance Minister scumbag Bezalel Smotrich said last Sunday that the so-called Trump plan is currently, quote-unquote, taking shape because it wasn't the Trump plan at all. It was already a plan that was in place long before that. We covered it on this show almost a year ago. Quote, it could be in single-family homes or in Trump-style towers, just to kiss his ass, but we will definitely go back there. Silman said during Tuesday's interview that, quote, Gush Katif will return. There's no question about it, unquote, referring to a former block of 17 Israeli apartheid settlements in southern Gaza that were abandoned 20 years ago. It could be in single-family homes or Trump-style towers, but we will definitely go back there. I see no other solution to terrorism. You are the terrorist, lady. The answer to terrorism is sovereignty. Yes, sovereignty for the Palestinian people, for a single state, not run by the Knesset. While proponents of the plan insist that Palestinians will leave Gaza voluntarily, because they won't, critics counter that this notion is utterly divorced from reality, as most Gazans are descendants of people who fled or were ethnically cleansed from other parts of Palestine during the establishment of the modern state of Israel in 1948, and are loath to be subjected to yet another expulsion. Many elderly Gazans are survivors of what Palestinians call the Nakba, or the catastrophe of 1948, and watch a lot of Reef and Collins coverage about the history of Palestine and how this was Lord Balfour and Jacob Rothschild and the Zionist Conference of 1898, and this went way back before World War II. This was a plan. This isn't the first time that Silman has called for the ethnic cleansing of Palestine. She made similar comments during a recent rally, and last September, she also said that Israel is, quote, on a path to inherit the West Bank, including East Jerusalem. No, steal, not inherit, steal. Murder everyone and steal. Say it. Israel has illegally occupied the territory since 1967. And hundreds of thousands of Jewish settlers have steadily usurped Palestinians by building and expanding apartheid colonies on their land. Thank you for saying that, Brett. That's courageous. Quote, we will not conquer, she asserted last year. Conquer is a progressive word that the progressives brought upon us. We inherit. No, you murder. You steal. Inheritance from the Lord. Garbage. You're fucking human garbage. Silman rose to prominence after abandoning the previous Israeli coalition government, prompting a crisis leading to the 2022 election that gave rise to the current far-right administration. So she's as big a piece of garbage in this country as there is. And yet she continues to fail upward. She'll probably be prime minister someday. Numerous Israeli politicians, military leaders, journalists, entertainers, and others have called for genocide in Gaza or the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians from the territory. They've made TikTok videos. They're very proud of it. And they've been charged at the ICJ with terrorism for that and with genocide. Statements from Netanyahu, members of his cabinet, Knesset lawmakers, and others have been entered as evidence in the South Africa-led genocide case in The Hague. More than 170,000 Palestinians are dead, maimed, or missing at minimum, and millions or more are forcibly displaced, starved, or sickened following 15 months of Israeli bombardment and invasion and more than 17 months of complete siege of Gaza, according to local and international agencies. Palestine defenders argue that mass slaughter and annihilation of Gaza meet the definition of genocide under Article 2 of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. However, according to the UN Office on the Genocide Prevention and the Responsibility to Protect, quote, to constitute genocide, there must be a proven intent on the part of the perpetrators to physically destroy a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group, unquote. I don't think there's a doubt there has. The intent is the most difficult element to determine. The agency stressed, garbage. But critics say that comments like Silman's could make the ICJ's final decision much easier. Yeah, bolstered by the hubris of settler colonial power and the knowledge that it's killed, maimed, destroyed, expelled, humiliated, imprisoned, and dispossessed with more than 7 decades of impunity, and by the continued material and moral support of the United States, Israelis are explicit and unashamed about their genocidal intent because they've imagined and prosecuted a war against people who they see as colonized savages, as Israeli Holocaust scholar and British law professor Petty Green wrote last year. So that's a good article by Brett. That's war crime number 2. War crime number 3 is that in the UN, and I'm not going to read this one, there's a very long article by the Dissident. There's a UN report that proves that Israel is guilty of widespread sexual violence. Yay! Not that we didn't already know that, but not just against Palestinians, but also against Israeli female soldiers. Yeah, it's all in here. The mass rape hoax debunked. It's all in here. Pregnant women targeted. Raping pregnant Palestinian women. Violence against Palestinian women encouraged. Yep. Attacks on reproductive health care facilities. All in here and documented. Attacks on women's centers. On the IDF housing pedophiles, abusing children. Sexual torture in Israeli prisons. Again, we know a lot about all of this, all right? One Israeli soldier has said, how do you want us to rape you one by one or all together? The victim was also denied access to her lawyer once she had informed him of the rape threat. What a surprise. Nice guys there. Read the Dissident's article. Support the Dissident, the 307.substack.com. The Dissident is actually a co-founder of INN. I also wanted to call attention to our friend Abubaker Abed, who is still in Gaza. He's in Deir al-Balah right now. Okay, he said, breaking Israeli vessels are relentlessly shelling Deir al-Balah and central Gaza seashores. The sounds are truly horrific for us. It's nearly midnight. And then he says it hasn't stopped for 20 minutes, nonstop, intense, and terrifying. Awful. Terrorism. Literal terrorism. I'm done. I'm done with Israel's war crimes. Sorry. Okay. Fuck Israel portion's over. Like I said, fuck Israel. They suck. We definitely get demonetized off of YouTube for that. So if you are of means and able to support, as Colin says, take care of your family, take care of your friends, take care of yourselves. But if you're able and you find a couple of bucks between the couch, between the cushions of the couch, or wherever you can find a couple of bucks, Cash App, $, Indie News Network, ko-fi.com/Indie News Network, paypal.me/Indie News Network. And then you can also subscribe for free over at innnewsletter.com and get daily updates about what's happening at the network. All the live streams, all the articles, all of the clip premieres that are happening throughout that day are published at 5:45 p.m. Eastern, usually, on average. We'll almost certainly be censored for that as well. So if you are able to and a means, take care of your family, take care of yourselves, take care of your friends, but take care of INN and fund the independent media you want to see. Cash App, $, Indie News Network, ko-fi.com/Indie News Network, paypal.me/Indie News Network, and you can also do it at innnewsletter.com monthly or annually, but please do it at one of the other three places instead. Support independent media because we need it more than ever.
Can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Why play civil if you won't listen to 50,000 dead? And now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. No, why play civil when all these dead won't make you listen? What's more American than slaying your oppressors? What's more American than liberty or death first? God, I thought we were founded on abolishing the tyranny of those who would starve a village all to live empirically. And I regret that I have only one life to give for my cause now that I can see the cause so clearly. See, I want our leaders, regardless of party, to fear me.